Hey friends, it's Caleb, and it's Tuesday, April 26th. Welcome to the Kevin White Show. This is the podcast helping you prosper in the presence of God. Thank you for subscribing, reviewing, and sharing the show. Kevin is a best-selling author,
international speaker,
and global brand publisher. He's the founder and executive director of Global Hope India, and the CEO of Spirit Media. As a serial entrepreneur, Kevin has helped start hundreds of churches,
businesses,
and nonprofits throughout the world. Put your hands together and let's welcome my friend and yours, Kevin White, to today's show.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you in the audience. We are here with one of our friends, partner, Pastor Manoj in Mumbai. He is actually here in the U.S. as we are recording this. And today is part B. And if you missed part A of the City of Hope project, you definitely want to go back and listen to last week's episode because you will be enriched by just hearing the faithfulness of God. He is a miracle working God. Amen. And we have a modern day miracle. Thank God for the stories of Moses and parting the Red Sea. And thank God for all the miracles we can read about in his word, but the miracles didn't stop then. And this is a modern day miracle. We talked about it last week as Pastor began an orphanage and God woke him up and gave him a vision from an orphan home to a city called the City of Hope. And even that day gave him a vision of 30 acres. He goes and gets on his bike. You got to listen to the whole show. I'm not going to tell you all about it today. I'm just sort of setting the foundation to go into part B here. But he gets on his motorcycle and he drives out and prayer walks around this piece of land. Long story short, he's denied. It's impossible. It is never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, a very wealthy, successful businessman says, it was my intent not to buy land, but to donate 10 acres to your ministry. And that very place you set your foot in prayer years earlier is now yours. Amen. God has given it to you. Yes. But 10 doesn't mean 30, and God promised 30. Yes. And so he gave you 10, and that set momentum that God's at work. Yes. You know, it's one thing to be foolish and pin it down. Another thing to be foolish and get on a bike and ride out there. Another thing to pray and to sense God's presence there. Another thing to go and ask and then to be told it's impossible. Another thing to have all these conversations with this businessman only to find out that God's on the move and he is giving you 10 of those acres. Yes. But then for that to turn into a locked-in price contract on the sale of 20 more acres, interest-free, like that's $1 million in land, interest-free, and the price can't go up. Like it is yours. You just got to make the payments. And so that fulfills the prophetic vision God gave you years earlier for this City of Hope project. But now we are in the U.S. and God sent you here to call 1,000 people to partner with this project. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. But take us now into what has happened since you had the agreement with the 20 additional acres to make it 30 and bring us into 2022. What's happened since then? Because I've been on the land. Many people have now been on the land and it's gone. It is now going, as pastor experienced it from vision to reality. Yes. Now it's going to happen in my heart and your heart because I've been on that land and we are 5 years away from the completion of the City of Hope. I want you to just think about construction projects around your town, belt lines and interstates and high-rise buildings. A lot of construction projects can take 5+ years. And in 5 years, you're going to be able to go to this piece of land and find the City of Hope by the grace of God. And it starts one partner at a time for 1,000 partners. Pastor, so what's happened since you've since you've been given the land? How do you know it's time now to start building?
Experiencing God's provision in this amazing way, which we never thought about. And when I look back, talking about this generous man, non-Christian businessman whom the Lord led to make such a move, donation and allotment of another 20. So when I look into it, the whole work of God, if it had to be in flesh, in human efforts, I'm not ashamed to say that if I have to try to get into his company, his office, the watchman may not even allow me to get inside. The watchman may be earning many times more than me. And I would not have any access to reach arenas like this. But it was God's divine hand. It was God's divine providence that made it possible that the Lord brought him into our pathway. We cross each other, we get associated, and the Lord leads him to make such a donation of 10 acres land and allotment of 20 acres. So the land has become a reality. We all have been there. I'm there every week, multiple times. Every time we had the teams and you come and we have prayed and we have done various initiatives there. I mean, last 5 years plus we have enhanced our activities there, such as working with the community development, working with those tribal hamlets, and we have done health camps. We've been doing distribution of hygiene kit supplies and educational material supplies to the children. We have, during the COVID pandemic, we have distributed by God's grace more than 15,000 kilos of food supply kits to all of those, every single family, multiple times.
Yeah.
And also in the red light area.
Because they were completely cut off from income.
Yes, sir.
Their income generation stopped. No more agricultural work.
Yes.
And they would have starved had God not provided.
The Lord gave us the favor and burdened our hearts to reach out to these communities and see how practical help we can do, how we can meet them in their difficult times, and the top of that is the water project.
Yeah. I want to thank North Carolina Baptist, the EW Process Corporation, so many friends and donors who have contributed.
I take this as an opportunity to thank all of these generous friends who have given towards the
everyone at Global Hope India, everyone that's ever ran in one of our Carry the Water 5Ks. God has allowed us, some of our partners were able to help with a borewell project, and it's pretty inexpensive. And all of a sudden, Pastor doesn't give us just a well project. He gives us a municipality project of building an RO plant. Pastor, how many gallons of water or liters per hour can this plant produce?
I want to thank every one of our friends, individuals, or church, or institutes that have given generously. I want to congratulate you and want to thank you, because this water project has made a tremendous difference. Because imagine those women from the tribal hamlets would walk barefoot on uneven road, uneven ground to not less than 2 kilometers away to a well to fetch drinking water, which had E. coli. Unhealthy, not
I don't think Americans would do it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine walking 2 kilometers to pick up disease-ridden water and bring it back to your family?
Multiple utensils on their head. At least 2 to 3. And as a result, when we did health camp, one prominent concern we saw that every woman, every female adult children, they had orthopedic issues because of their daily routine of fetching water from 2 kilometers, walking on the barefoot ground with 2 to 3 utensils on their head.
Talk about carrying the water.
Yeah.
And that's why we do our 5Ks. It's literally to ease the burden of a community like that. So tell us about the plant. How many
Yes.
liters of water?
So as we came together, as we began to pray and work out a plan, and by God's grace, we were able to install a facility, create a water treatment plant system, which is fully automated. And today it is delivering 5,000 liters an hour.
An hour. Awesome.
5,000
Yes.
liters an hour.
Yes.
And delivering completely treated water, fit to drink, like any other bottled water here, purified, completely purified water.
Yeah. It's reverse osmosis.
Yes.
99.9%
Yes, sir.
of
Yes,
all
sir.
contaminants are completely out.
Yes.
And it is purified water.
And we
Yeah.
took the treated water to the tribal hamlets, and today those women don't have to walk 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
They just can come out of their homes and get water at any time of the day,
Yeah.
10 to 15 meters away.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I just want you to picture a round circle, and the water project is near the center of that circle. And then there's hamlets or neighborhoods, cul-de-sacs, if you will, of these villagers. How many total families in this whole vicinity?
The whole, in all those 5 tribal hamlets, villages in Kalapur, we are talking about 4,000 population.
4,000 families or people.
4,000 population. So
Okay.
families would be around 1,200 families.
Okay. Yeah. 1,200 families, 4,000 people. And so now there's pipelines from the main plant going to all 5
Yes.
of them. And it took 5 years for us to begin. I remember when the footings were born in the river itself to bring the pipe up to the water
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah.
And then the water plant was built. And it was sad in some ways because there was water there at the plant, but yet the people were still far away. But slowly, little by little, pipelines were added. And so now the water is within 15 meters of
And so
the
this-
families.
The water program, Clean Drinking Water Project, has earns utmost respect and acceptance
Yeah.
in the sight of every villagers and all of the city council members and city mayor. And so today we are no longer strangers there. We're not seen as outsiders or any threat. We are part of the community. We have respect and we are unified with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're all happy about us.
That
So-
was really the classroom for my book, Audacious Generosity, because I saw firsthand God use the power of generosity to raise the trust and the confidence
Yes.
of people far away from God, to make them tender toward the things of God.
Yes.
And, we hear it all the time. People don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. There's very few things in life more caring than providing your baby who is sick of E. coli fresh, clean drinking water. And that opens up the opportunity to speak truth
Yes.
and to demonstrate the love of Christ
Yes.
in the people's lives.
Yes.
And that's God's strategy. God so loved the world that he gave. And I wrote about that in Audacious Generosity. And that was just one of many examples that I've seen throughout the years in India.
Yes.
And so over the 5-year period, we've saw the water project, we've saw a variety of community development, lots of outreach. When COVID hit, it became your Garden of Eden.
Yes.
Like they were in a hotbed in a very congested area, and they took their 60 some people out to the farmland. They call it the farm there. And you rented a farmhouse and you lived there how many months?
More than 6 months.
More than 6 months.
So when the COVID pandemic began in March 2020, the Lord was seriously leading on my heart to make a move, make a shift, take all of our beneficiaries, the children, the women, the elderly, and our caregivers, a strength of 60 plus lives, because living in city where we were in 100 square meter plot in 2,200 square feet building, and keeping everyone confined completely during the pandemic, strict lockdown, it would have been disastrous. And so I felt we need to make this move. And on 22nd March of 2020, we made a move. Within few hours, we, with multiple car arrangement, we shifted everyone and all the resources and all utensils, and we rented 6 small rooms on a 6.5 acre farmhouse belonging to a local politician person who is very in good terms with us, very nice man. We have good friendship, and so we took everyone on the farmhouse there, and it turned out to be truly, as you just described, Garden of Eden, or I would say Noah's Ark. So it truly turned out to be a safe space where all of these 60 lives could live happily and without any restrictions. We needed not to have masks. We needed not to worry about infections. Nothing, absolutely not. So we lived there very happily. So even our stay there itself turned out to be such a blessing for our own self, and at the same time blessing for the community there, because when we saw their tragedies, when we saw their situations, their struggles to survive, the Lord led us to share our food. The Lord spoke to us, give them to eat. And we began to share whatever little resources we had. We began to make food packets, and we started giving out, not knowing how we will survive, because 60 plus people have to stay there uncertain time period, not knowing when our support, how we will be taken care, how we will be sustained. But the Lord helped us understand the power of generosity, that as you share,
it multiplies.
It grows. It multiplies.
Yeah.
And so we kept on sharing, and the Lord kept providing us.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful for that experience. So that distribution of food supply kits itself made such a big impact. Everyone in the whole Khalapur region, all those poor families, all those tribal hamlets, their immediate needs were met at a very crucial time. And we were able to do the distribution rounds multiple times.
Yeah.
And so throughout that severe pandemic times, people were taken care and their basic necessities were met, because the Lord led us to share what we had. And so
and all of this has just been laying a foundation of God's presence, laying a foundation of the gospel, laying a foundation of the love of Christ. And so now it's 2022, and it is time to start breaking land and building the city of hope.
Amen.
And God has brought you miraculously to America. Thank God you're safe here and you're able to be with us. He has sent you here with an assignment. So share with us that assignment. And we're going to be displaying some of the slides of a PowerPoint presentation. You saw some last week. We're going to be sharing some this week as well, as Pastor shares. So I want you to share about the 1,000 partners to bring forth the City of Hope.
My brothers and sisters, friends across the church in US, I truly want to lay before you this vision, requesting you to pray and partner with this in this vision, because all these years, ever since the Lord gave us the vision and until now 2022, it's been like a preparation which the Lord has been doing, and it's a high time now to step out in faith and begin to break the ground and begin to do phase-wise developments, so that the City of Hope begins to take its shape. So we're trusting the Lord for 1,000 mission friends who can pray and partner with this vision. I say pray, partner, promote. 1,000 mission friends who can pray, partner, and promote this vision for a once-in-a-life commitment of 5 years only. Now, when I say once-in-a-life commitment of 5 years, there are two things to it. One is, through the entire journey of the Rays of Hope since 2002, The Lord has taught us the importance of being indigenous, and secondly, the importance of self-sustenance. So I believe being indigenous is the key to reach our own people and meet the needs and respond to the challenges. We, of course, definitely need the global church to pray and stand behind, but it's a native movement, indigenous approaches that are going to be more effective. And on the other side, the importance of self-sustenance, we believe, yes, we need the support of the global church, but we would not want to depend on external support forever.
Right.
We would love to become self-sustaining as early as possible.
Yeah.
So the 1,000 mission friend commitments for a 5-year period makes sure that we are able to pay off the 20 acres land cost.
Okay.
We are able to do the needed infrastructural developments. We are able to secure corpus fund with bank, which will generate monthly interest. And we are able to set up self-sustaining businesses within the City of Hope, which will generate revenue. So the revenue from the self-sustaining businesses and the interest from the corpus fund will eventually help to run the City of Hope as a self-sustaining program. Post 5-year commitment, our friends still remain friend and very big part of our lives and the ministry. They will always be welcome to come, volunteer, short term, long term, and they could give as the Lord leads. But as a ministry, we won't reach out and asking for every single need again. We want to see that it should become, City of Hope should become self-sustaining as early as possible.
Yeah, I really appreciate this. And it resonates with my own values and the values of our leadership, because what Pastor is describing is that an opportunity to make a investment into the City of Hope project with an end date. Like, this is not a welfare program where you're going to get on the line and have to stay in place for all eternity until Jesus comes back in order for this ministry to survive. It has built-in sustainability in the vision. And so let's just break down the numbers real quick. The total project to build out the 30-acre City of Hope project to be self-sustaining is $3 million, $3 million US dollars.
$3 million,
yeah.
Yes.
And so the strategy that God has given Pastor is 1,000 mission partners at $50 a month. Now, I suspect everyone's breathing a sigh of relief because you maybe have thought, oh, here it comes. He's going to be asking me for $25,000, or he's going to be asking me for $500,000. If you have that capacity, by all means, see this as a call of God to a very fertile project, and God will reward you for your giving. But this show is heard in 166 different countries, Pastor.
Wow.
And you pointed out an invitation to the U.S. partners. And we certainly want all of our friends in the U.S. to hear the opportunity here, but you are not disqualified if you're outside the U.S. If you're in Canada, if you're in Mexico, if you're in France, if you're in Germany, if you're in the Philippines, if you're in Mexico or wherever, we want you to consider becoming a mission partner at $50 a month for 5 years.
Yes.
Now, we take commitments to our mobile phone, and obviously we're not going to turn that off in 2 years. We take commitments to mortgage a house. We take a commitment to pay off a car loan. And this is a long-term commitment. 5 years is a long term to a lot of people, but it's $50 a month. 1,000 people at $50 a month for 5 years equals $3 million.
Yeah, $3 million. Yes.
$3 million. And I just want to encourage you to join me in making it a testimony to the glory of God.
Yes.
That God is using you to build a City of Hope in Mumbai, India at $50 a month. And that would be an incredible testimony to the glory of God, of his faithfulness to empower you, to allow you to be a part of building a city of hope. You know, maybe you have at some point in your life grieved for orphans, or grieved for people in human trafficking, or grieved for widows that are treated like trash, or grieved for single moms who need income generation possibilities. And I could go on and on and on of describing the beneficiaries of the City of Hope. But this is more than a reaction. This is a proactive vision. Pastor has said, when there is vision, there is provision.
Yes.
And this is proactive vision of being the provision of God, him allowing you to build a city of hope that will benefit thousands of beneficiaries a year there in the outskirts of Mumbai. Any final call, Pastor, before we end the show? How would you invite our friends to join you in this? And then I'm going to give the details of how you can actually join us.
I just want to encourage and request all of our viewers and friends across the world, not only in the US, but the global church. I would correct myself, global church.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to encourage and request every one of us. We have one life. We were never here before, and we shall never be here again. This is the only life we have that God has given us an opportunity to make a difference, to leave the mark. Before we pass from this life, let us make sure we partner with God in what He's desiring and wanting to do here on this earth. And if you could partner with Him and leave the legacy, make that mark, I think the life will be worth living. And so this is one of its opportunity. I'm not saying this is the only opportunity. Partnering with God in making the City of Hope become a reality is one of its opportunity that God is giving us. And I would encourage and invite the global church, please come forward and please pray with us. It's more important than anything else. We need your prayers. We need your wishes. We need your encouragement. And if the Lord leads you to partner financially, please do so, because you're going to help the City of Hope become a reality, which is going to be an ongoing ministry until the Lord come back.
Yeah.
It's going to be ministering to thousands of lives, spiritually and socially. It's going to be transforming thousands of lives in a holistic way.
Yeah.
And so I believe all of us, we have this opportunity to get involved and truly achieve it together. I said, together we can.
Yeah.
Together we can make a difference.
Amen. Amen. I love all of our partners, and I love projects like this that I've been a part of for decades throughout India. And this is one project that really resonates with all the values God has taught me about finishing the task of the Great Commission in India. There's 1 billion people in India that have never held a Bible, and this will provide an opportunity. This is good, fertile soil for that. So I have 2 requests. First of all, I want you to join me in being one of those 1,000 mission partners at $50 a month. I'm going to ask everyone listening to the show to go to the website and to see the banner there and to join the 1,000 mission partners for the City of Hope project and begin your $50 donation today. The second thing is, I want to ask you to send that link out to as many people as you can and encourage others to join you. And if 20 people do that and they influence 20, then that's 40, and they influence 40, that's 80, and you can just see the multiplication take place there. And I encourage you to do that. You can find all the information there on the website, and I recommend this project to you, and I want you to join me in being one of the 1,000. So, Pastor, thank you for being a guest on the Kevin White Show and telling everyone about the City of Hope project. I am so thrilled to announce to you that it is my honor, out of the proceeds of Spirit Media, to invest as Spirit Media being one of the mission partners, the one of the 1,000 at $50 a month. And thank you. We see it as just the beginning of a seed offering. And we want to see that grow to 2 of the 1,000, to 3 of the 1,000, to 5 of the 1,000, and so forth every single month to be a part. And I want to encourage everyone that has been a faithful part of the Kevin White Show. Thank you for sponsoring my books and taking the books and the podcast and the different things of bringing the prosperity of the presence of God into people's lives. And I want to encourage you to allow God to give you the legacy and the testimony that by the grace of God, I'm being allowed by God to build the City of Hope in Mumbai, India at $50 a month. I want you to join me and my wife. I want you to join Spirit Media in becoming one. So there's 2, me and my wife, as well as Spirit Media. And I know that others joined last night at a dinner that we hosted last night here in our area, and others will join tonight. I'm believing that. Others will join as a result of this, and you will be a part of 1,000 people that are mission partners to build a City of Hope. God says, ask, and I will give you the nations. I don't know if I don't need a nation, but it's obviously to the glory of God. Will you allow your testimony to the glory of God be, by His grace, He's allowing me to build the City of Hope in Mumbai, India? I am. I hope you will as well. God bless you all. We'll see you back next week on The Kevin White Show.
Thank you for listening to The Kevin White Show. Visit kevinwhite.us and join thousands of subscribers to Kevin's free daily 1-minute motivation series called Generously Blessed. Generously Blessed. Kevin's books Audacious Generosity and Get to the Point are available in hardback, paperback, ebook, and audiobook at kevinwhite.us, worldwide on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere books are sold. Your 5-star review on Amazon will be greatly appreciated. This has been The Kevin White Show. Kevin White Show. Find the complete archive of all episodes at kevinwhite.us or subscribe for free through your favorite podcast player and never miss an episode. This program copyright Kevin White International Incorporated. All rights reserved. Each week, we bring you a message of prosperity from God, remembering God's greatest gift is His very own presence, made possible through Jesus Christ. We will see you back here every Tuesday on The Kevin White Show. Connect with Kevin now at kevinwhite.us. kevinwhite.us.